This episode was definitely a step up from the previous 4 episodes. Now, I'm not saying that the first 4 episodes was bad. I'm just saying, in terms of understanding this arc, or understanding what is going on, this episode presents the events very well. I was able to truly comprehend everything that was going on in this episode that was a mystery, while also understanding the last episode a little bit more. It didn't give a lot of context, like more context to the Imaginator, but it did expand upon the characters and the events of where this arc is kind of going at the moment. So I will say, out of all the episodes that's previously came out for Boogiepop, this is probably the best episode yet. Now, that could easily change when more episodes come out, and I believe there's going to be, like, 18 plus more episodes. If that really is the case, then, I mean, obviously, we have a long journey on our hands throughout winter of anime, 2019, but also spring of anime 2019 as well, so Boogiepop's going to be around for a while, and I think since it's such a cult classic, many love it, I think that we can expect some really good things from this series. But okay, let's get right into it. So we have major players right now in this arc. Like, we have the main characters that are going to be really kind of taking the story, making the story take form. And we have the younger brother of Nagi. Nagi, as you know, was the main female character of the last arc that was working with, the alien dude that was straight up, wanting to, save humanity, or determine if he wanted to save humanity or not. That girl that kind of saved everything, well, her younger brother is the main male character of this arc that we got in this episode. When he was, talking with the girl, I think her name is Hata, I believe that's her name. Basically, that dude in this episode that was kind of the main focus, he is the younger brother. So, yeah, that's the crazy part about this, how connected the events of this is to, his older sister when she was dealing with the stuff with the Manticore in the last arc. Now, besides just Nagi's younger brother, we also have Hata. Hata is this girl that has a lot of mystery surrounding her. Most of the episode, you're wondering, who is she? What's going on in her life? Because with the constant exchanges of information between Hata and Nagi's younger brother, you're wondering, are they really in love? I mean, even the character in this episode, like, I guess the main male character of this arc, even ask, are they really in a relationship? Are they dating? Are they in love? What's going on? He says the relationship's very complicated because the way they met is not normal. It's not something that normally happens when you form a relationship. Even love at first sight, it's not a normal love at first sight. And so seeing how everything was done, and seeing how her mystery was slowly building up throughout the episode, like when he was questioning, where do you live? Like, could you tell me who you live with, where you live at, or whatever? And she wasn't really able to answer any of his questions. She, basically said she doesn't have any parents or whatever. And he's like, wait, you don't have any parents, relatives? And she didn't really answer. She's like, I'm sorry, I cannot answer your question. And it was very vague. And this was before the events later on in the episode where we get a little bit more information. But the point is that she wasn't telling Nagi's younger brother anything. We had no information on her, which made it very suspicious. And as the events of the episode carried on, we kind of shifted POV over to this dude that actually loved Nagi's younger brother. He had a crush on him, and there was a love triangle with a gay relationship, which I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised right now. Like, that honestly shocks me, because I believe Boogiepop is a very old series. I could be wrong there. If I am, correct me in the comments below, but I believe Boogiepop is an old piece of literature. And seeing a theme like that, and something so old, it really is shocking. You don't normally see that often, which I will give compliments to. That is definitely something just unexpected. But the point, though, is that this dude, when we shift POV, we see how he was kind of in the background constantly interacting with Nagi's younger brother, and how he was kind of manipulating certain events, or how relevant he is for this arc. So, as I've already said, he was kind of crushing on the younger brother, and he wanted to get in a relationship, and as I've already said in this video, the younger brother, he was already in a relationship with Hata, which is this girl that has a lot of mystery around her, that he met in an alleyway to protect her. And so the dude was getting jealous, and eventually, as time went on, he was going roundabout ways to try to, in some cases, get the younger brother to fall in love with him. That's what he wanted. But as his stalking tendencies continued to grow, and he started watching Hata, this dude intervened and started to mess with him. It completely destroyed him as a human being. Basically said, give up all your desires. You no longer have any desires. You'll now answer, the TOA organization, and you will, do as, we tell you to do. Which is kind of messed up, because what that dude effectively did in that moment was remove his humanity. Because let's look at the broad scope of what humans are. Humans are dreamers. They are individuals that have desires, dreams, what we want. Every human, I think, in this world has something they want. Either it is something good or bad, it does not matter. The point is everybody, I think, in this world wants something. We always do. We desire stuff. And when the man was like, I remove all your desires, that was a scary moment, because he legit removed the man's humanity. That's scary power to be able to do that to someone, and it's just like, having something like that done to you and not even realize it is even more terrifying. So the events carry on after that, and after the man gets completely brainwashed and he gives up on stalking Hata and the dude he has a crush on, he carries on with his life basically being a puppet slash just a robot. And thankfully, he does get woken up by Yagami Light Sensei, the dude in the last episode, and we don't know exactly what happened, all the little details on how it worked, but as I said in the last episode, he was probably just, in a way, it's kind of the opposite of what the synthetic human was doing, how he was turning people into robots. The teacher, he was kind of removing all the bad from someone. I think that's exactly what he's doing. He's removing all the negative and bad things from an individual, which in turn, even though they still have desires, he's removing the bad portion of humans, which is not good or healthy. Now, I know many are going to be wondering, but Chibi, having no bad humans, that's a good thing. Yeah, I can see why people would say that, but you gotta think realistically. Bad thoughts, or just bad people in general, even though they're bad and they're scum, sometimes having certain bad thoughts can lead to creating things, creative personalities. And if you lose that, you lose a part of your humanity. You lose something along the way. And so you can no longer really consider yourself human if you lose your emotions of hatred, anger, or whatever, and you're just always happy. You can't say you're human anymore. Once again, you're just another version of a robot. So we got two examples of what happened to this character that was getting tampered with, how his soul itself was getting tampered with, of how at one point he was just a, he was someone that was filled with jealousy and anger, but he was a normal person, and then all of a sudden he got turned into a robot that had no desires or emotions, and then he was turned into something that just loves things, but he has no hatred inside of him. So it's just like, I feel bad for the dude. He really did not deserve a fate like that. That's awful to have something like that done to you. I mean, I'm not saying what he was doing was right, with stalking and all that, but it's still the point. Having your humanity literally ripped from you, honestly, I think in some ways is worse than death. So, anyways, we found out about the TOA organization and synthetic humans. Now, we already knew that there was created beings like the Manticore in the last arc. That is something very relevant that I'm going to get into. See, in the last arc, we knew the Manticore was created, okay? By scientists or whatever. It wasn't really described. There wasn't a lot of detail in that. But we do know that the Manticore was created. And if I had to assume anything, I'm assuming these synthetic humans that we're seeing, like the dude that was brainwashing people, I'm under the impression that he's related to the scientist that created the Manticore, which would mean that these two arcs are, intertwined and connected, and they're very relevant. You take down the TOA organization, then you take down the creation of synthetic beings or monsters, whatever, for they can't terrorize humanity. That's what I'm assuming, because it's just very obvious by this third party being introduced in this episode that it's obvious that the scientist who created Manticore is related to what we have going on now. Now, anyways, let's get into the relationship with Hata and, the younger brother. It's very apparent that Hata is potentially a synthetic human. I doubt she's a regular human being because of all the details I was given and how the synthetic human was watching her when he confronted her at the end of this episode with a different name. It's clear she's not who she says she is, and I'm assuming she's some form of robot or, some form of, just monster that isn't actually human, which would go along with the theme of what this episode was trying to do. For instance, turning humans into robots with that lack emotion, and then if you had someone that was, technically a robot, gaining emotions, that would be a fascinating little flip to the the presentation of what this episode is trying to do. That's what I'm assuming. I could be wrong there, but that's the theme I think is going on with this arc. But okay, I think that's pretty much about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below, because for some reason, even if you click the subscribe button, you don't always get notified. So if you want to get notified, you got to hit that bell icon. And with that, guys, I love you. Chibi out.